Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive on one of the latest MMOs and action RPGs that's come out, which is going to be Blue Protoccol Star Residence. I really wanted to like this game. At the end of the day, I'm going to be truly transparent with you. It seemed pretty great, but after playing some of the closed beta testing and some of the, well, launch gameplay, I decided to make this video, all right? Now, first up, let's talk about content. At the end of the day, I feel like there's just not a whole lot of content here, and what content does exist feels pretty terribly paced. Yeah, I know the game's pretty new, but come on. The content is locked behind time gating, so like every real life day you'll get some new quests, new side events, some new regions or dungeons that are unlocked, which sounds pretty cool at first, right? It's a new game. You're going to keep everyone on the same page, and it gives you like a steady drip of stuff for you to do every single day. For the first few days, it was going to feel pretty solid, you know, hours of some main story quest lines, exploring new regions, fighting some bosses, you know, in a dungeon every once in a while or every day. But after a while, that's going to turn from like a drip into a drought of new content for you to experience. No more new main story, no new dungeons, right? That sub-region that you were looking forward to unlock is unlocking every like 3 to 4 days now. And then it begins to just become like an MMO where you want to log in, do your daily quests, don't really do anything else, do that stuff for like 30 minutes. And you might think like, oh, maybe we'll go do fishing or some other life skill stuff. But no, those are sort of stamina locked too. Like everything seems to be stamina locked in this game or time gated in some way, which for an MMO kind of really just misses the mark, right? It's 2025. I've seen these games before in mobile titles a lot of the time too, where like everything is time gated in a stamina system or, you know, timed unlocks, things of that nature. And it just doesn't really feel good, right? And I can understand it from like a weird design perspective and sort of get behind it as it's like a new way to sort of try to experience launching a game. But the combination of you being forced to wait and then you wanting to play the game doesn't feel that great. And then when the game finally stops pushing you back with time gates and is like, you can explore the game now, you just don't really want to anymore at the end of the day. With the new auto farm system that's in there as well, once you unlock that, you're playing an MMO where you just kind of AFK, but you have to leave your computer on or your whatever device you're playing on, which isn't really an MMO for me. That's just kind of like once again, mobile gameplay. Now, another thing is this game really does sort of eke out some pay to win mechanics. A lot of them, in my opinion. If it's something's core to the gameplay system of like an MMO in this situation, I'm going to have to call out the pay to win. A lot of things that I've seen said, oh, there's no pay to win. Everything's a cosmetic. You don't have to pay for characters and all this other stuff. But they're going to get you in every other playbook, right? Every other thing's coming out of the playbook to get you here. Which, hey, it's one of those, you know, Asian MMO type grinds. But this one's on an entirely different level. So there's this currency bloat, which is absolutely insane. So the first one's going to be this currency called Luno. You can think of it as like gold that you use to buy stuff from merchants, use it at the auction house, upgrade stuff, craft stuff. That's going to be one currency. Then there's going to be Rose Orbs, which is a premium currency for cosmetics, as well as pulling on other stuff in a gacha type situation. So let's touch on Luno here. Now, Luno comes in both bound as well as unbound forms. And the Luno that you earn from just normally playing the game, from rewards, from quests, defeating enemies, that's going to be the bound version, meaning that you cannot use the Luno you earn at the auction house. Bound Luno isn't good at the auction house. You can only use unbound Luno at the auction house. How do you get unbound Luno, you may ask? Well, unbound Luno you get from either selling items on the marketplace or converting the premium paid Rose Orb currency into unbound Luno. So you can directly buy as much Luno as you want, unbound Luno, for real money to buy whatever you want off the auction house, which is straight up pay to win. Additionally, and it's pay to win because you cannot use bound Luno on the auction house market board. So all of the stuff that you earn from endlessly grinding monsters with the auto battle system just is largely irrelevant at the end of the day anyway. None of that currency matters on the auction house. You can't use it there. But it gets worse than that, because if you don't have like a monthly pass, you're actually limited with your interaction and punished in a couple of ways with the auction house system. First of all, you can't sell like as many items as if you would have had the pass. So you're limited there as how much money you can make unbound Luno as a free-to-play player because you're limited in how many things you can put up in the first place. But on top of that, you also get a higher tax cut from the marketplace when you sell something if you don't have the pass. Which, listen, I could understand one of the two things being there, limited in some way if you're trying to do this pay-to-win nonsense. But don't limit how many things I can put up and charge me a higher tax rate if I'm not buying your, $4.99 auction house fee basically every month in your free-to-play gacha game MMO wannabe. And we talked about rose orbs. Those are also both bound and unbound as well. So all the rose orbs you gain from your weeklies and dailies and events are bound rose orbs. You cannot get unbound rose orbs without paying money. The issue arises is a pay-to-win issue when unbound rose orbs can be used to buy Luno at a fixed rate at your currency exchange. On top of everything being like time gated and limit locked and stuff, if you want to join the game as a pay player and just get in there, you can literally not care about time gates for getting gear, time gates for leveling characters, time gates for getting the right summons. You can just buy it all and buy them from the players who've done that stuff and put it up on the auction house. And it gets worse. Without that monthly pass, you can't sell as many items daily. The market skims more off of your profits. Rose orbs, remember those? The ones that come in both bound and unbound forms. The bound ones from in-game rewards like your weeklies and dailies or your unbound Luno exchanges. That's cool. Unbound rose orbs, those are for paywall only. And unbound ones let you buy a ton of Luno at a fixed rate at a market exchange rate or snag exclusive cosmetics, including the Wish Gacha. All right. Now, also, there's another gacha as well that's not cosmetics, which I wasn't really aware of for a while until I got my hands on the game. But actual character upgrades. So there's this summon system that allows you to call people on cooldown for damages and buffs. The best ones are either rare world drop bosses or, gacha spins that you can do. So yes, in your MMO game, you can just choose not to fight the open world boss, try your luck at the drop. You can go ahead, buy the currency, buy the orbs for it, run your luck at the gacha, get it, and don't have to interact with the world boss whatsoever. That's fine. Straight up paywalling in some regards if you don't even want to wait for it. All right? Especially when some of the endgame raids kind of require some of these summons, in my opinion. Straight paywalling or pay to just get in there real fast. Okay. Oh, and bound rose orbs, dude, you can buy daily progression items with those from the shop as well. Top it off with a battle pass for $10 or $20 a month, depending on how many different things you're buying to get up to 3 to 4 times the rewards between the auction house and the rose orb system. Plus extras like shop refreshes and EXP boosts and the premium tier. I mean, come on, dude. You might as well just be playing an MMO that has a monthly subscription at this point. So what about the actual gameplay, right? All right. In my opinion, dungeons and combat feel a little bit soulless and flat. I get it's a mobile game, or at least that mobile aesthetic. But after a couple weeks, it's going to become clear that the real audience is the mobile game player. Let me explain why. All right. So PvE does seem to be like a little bit of an upgrade from the original Blue Protocol in Japan, but it's nothing to write home about. Combat's like fine. Win Knight has cool rotation. There's some classes though, kind of like Marksman, that just feel like a snooze fest, right? No real oomph behind your attacks. Nothing really feels visceral. It's kind of like I used to tell my friends when I played old Path of Exile 1, where like nothing feels like it has any weight behind it. It feels like I'm just hitting through my opponent. I'm hitting through air in a lot of ways out there. The dungeons all seem like they're kind of reskins of each other with the same formula. Kind of come in, take out like 20 to 30 mobs, unlock a boss, take the boss out, warp to the boss, warp out. They have some mechanics. That's fine. No puzzles, no unique layouts, no crazy things. Just feels like enemies are reskinned a lot of the time, hitting harder each time you go up levels. All right, which may be traditional MMO stuff, but the lack of real serious mechanics throughout the dungeon makes them feel kind of boring to me. And the real reason why a lot of this stuff just kind of feels sort of boring is that there's an auto combat where if you want to go farm stuff, level up from EXP farming on enemies and stuff, you can literally just leave your device on, hit auto, and just have it farm for you, which is crazy in a MMO that has some sort of economy with an auction house and all this other stuff, which is probably why they have all the limitations on free-to-play players being able to put stuff up on the auction house. They've broken it inherently by allowing basically real money trading inside of their own game, right? If you played old MMOs, FF11, the old RMT bots out there, running bots, running scripts, farming things automatically, selling those things on the auction house, whether it's in World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14. We've all seen that. This game comes with that as a feature for all players. So they've had to basically ruin the auction house system by making it a downside, higher taxes like we talked about if you aren't a spender, limiting how many things you can put on the auction house itself if you're not a spender, because you're allowed to just go out and AFK farm 24/7, 365, which you might say that's cool, but it inherently is a flaw that it exists. You might like it because you can go farm stuff up, but when everybody else can do it 24/7, 365, if you yourself aren't doing that, making sure your device is on auto farming continuously, you're losing out. You're going to be falling behind progression wise everyone else who does, because that's what you should be doing by default in a game like that, because everyone else can go farm up infinity things. You can as well. And if you don't, we're just gonna fall behind. As far as the story, it's like whatever. In my opinion, it's a little cliche, a little forgettable, like all the other sort of sloppy slop at this point. Is everything's trying to be like year one Genshin Impact nowadays? I'm not really sure here. I understand that this is the second redemption coming, right, of the JP launch, but this isn't a Realm Reborn Final Fantasy 14. We didn't let the game cook long enough. I don't even know if we turned the oven on. I don't know if we turned the stove on for this one. This one just feels like a pretty slopped together garbage environment, which, to wrap it all up, just makes it feel like it's bare bones, kind of slapped together. And I honestly can't see this game standing the test of time. I don't want to be like, it's gonna EOS in a year. I don't know if it'll make it that long, but I could see it EOSing in a year, because it just doesn't feel like there's anything to do. Ultimately, at the end of the day, not a lot of things are going to feel rewarding. And if you do put money into this game, you're going to very quickly find out that there's not a whole lot for you to try to progress towards at the end of the day. And you might just be no longer playing this game as a paying player, which is bad for the company. So it's designed to negatively affect both types of players, free-to-plays and whales, at the same time. And with that being said, let me know what you think about the Star Residents out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.